Mealtime prep for a mom is kind of the whole game, right? It's the thing that I find most stressful, and I cook every single day. So I can't imagine for someone who doesn't cook as much, that must be so much pressure. So for me, when it comes to meal prep, I really focus on delicious ingredients that I know my whole family loves, and then how can I mix and match this in different ways. So one thing I love doing is freezing. So when I make, for instance, pasta sauce that I'm going to be using on sweet potato noodles or zucchini noodles, I make double or triple the amount of that recipe, and then I freeze that for later. And it's great because then anytime we need to have pasta, it'll be ready in 10 minutes, however long it takes to defrost the sauce. So for me, it's really about making things that you can freeze and then defrost ahead of time. That's fantastic. Also, try to keep your kitchen stocked with easy to make things. So meatballs, for instance, is something that you can cook those off in 10 minutes and they're delicious, everybody loves them, and you can kind of mix and match them in all different ways. You can serve them just with vegetables, you can mix them into a pasta. There's so much versatility there, and that really is what it is, right? You want something that's versatile and something flexible to your schedule and to your family's tastes. Well, for me, I love pasta more than anything. It's probably my favorite meal. But however, I am trying to be aware of my health, my family's health. So for me, I really try to find pastas that actually are made with alternative ingredients. So I'm loving pasta that's made from lentils, black beans, garbanzo bean, things that have a lot of protein and fiber. So it's kind of like you're getting your vegetable serving plus pasta at the same time. And my husband and I have been loving this. Also, my 8-month-old loves it too. I'll give him little pieces of pasta and he adores it. He just gnaws on it and finds it delicious. Mealtime is definitely rowdier with James than it was before. Oh my goodness, but it's so much fun. So our whole family gathers, and when I say our whole family, I mean myself, my husband, James, our baby, and then of course our 2 pets, Buster and Mochi. Buster, our dog, is really hoping for scraps under James's high chair, so that's what Buster's doing. Mochi jumps up on the table and tries to steal a nibble off of my plate, and that's kind of where I started realizing I needed to do something special for her. She was our first pet, and when Buster came, she lost some of the attention, and when James came, he obviously became the big focus. So I've been trying to find ways to really make sure she feels loved, and so I can show her a lot of attention. I do cook for my family every day. It's not always something spectacular and grand and amazing, but I try to make delicious, simple food every day for my family. I think it's funny because I work in food, everybody assumes that I'm making these very elaborate meals all the time, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. My go-to is scrambled eggs. So when it comes to my family, I try to come up with recipes that are simple and achievable, but also I don't get bored with it, because you can get, being a mom, you can get into a rut really easily where you're making the same things over and over again because they work. For me, I love food history. I'm a big history nerd, so that's kind of how I got connected to food. I just found food history such a great way to understand people. If you know what they eat, you really understand so much about their culture and who they are. Because when you think about it, what we put on a plate is really a great expression of kind of what we care about and how we like to enjoy ourselves. So for me, food history was a huge window there. Additionally, growing up in Southern California, I am surrounded by such beautiful produce. I am so lucky. So I really was inspired by the world around me and there's just simple, delicious food that I had access to. So that's what I tried to create with the Kitschy Kitchen, was delicious, simple recipes that looked really beautiful as well as they tasted really good. I do sometimes use pre-made baby food. For me, I really care about what the ingredients are. So it's like with everything, whether I'm feeding myself, my son, or even my pets, I'm always going to be looking at the packaging and seeing what's in it. So for James, I look for whole foods. So it just should say what it is, right? If it's something that's like peas and carrots, you should look on the back and it says peas and carrots. It shouldn't be more complicated than that. And I feel the same way about pet food, which is why I'm so excited that I found the Purely Fancy Feast fillets for Mochi, because they're this delicious whole food for my cat. And it's such a nice way to mix it up for her. Because she, like me, we get into little ruts, so same thing every day. And I love that the fillets are a great way to kind of update her meal. So I'll flake a little bit off and put it on her tray and she'll nibble it up and love it, or she can have it whole. And I've kind of used that same inspiration in the food I eat and the food my son eats, because how can we take things that we have every day and then make it interesting and elevated and fun? Yeah, so with Mochi, I love keeping things special because, you know, with James, he is such a beautiful handful. I love spending my time with my son and getting to watch him grow, and he loves the cat. Oh my goodness. He's learning petting right now, which is very sweet, and Mochi is very patient with him. So I wanted to show Mochi a little bit of love recently. It was her birthday. So I made her a little birthday cake out of the Fancy Feast fillets. So I sort of cracked them up, put them into a cookie cutter, so they kind of made the shape of a cake, and she loved it. She just went to town. It was a fun cat mom moment for me. Mochi and James are getting along really well. It's very sweet. He is so interested in her. He thinks that she is fascinating. So he's always crawling towards her and trying to give her a pet. And she's very obliging. She'll let him pet her, but we are learning the word gentle. So that is a bit of a new experience for James. Oh my gosh, I mean, I involve James now. He's 8 months old, he can't stand, he can't hold a spoon or anything, but I involve him now. He's always been on my hip and at my side. I love setting him up in his high chair so he can watch me cook. I tell him what I'm doing, I show him all the different ingredients. When I can give him little things to nibble on and try, I will give him things to try. I'm doing this thing called baby-led weaning, which is basically where you just kind of let the kid feed themselves. It's pretty simple, and it's been great for me. James loves feeding himself, makes him feel like a big boy. He also, honestly, it was me not being able to feed him by the spoon. He wouldn't take it. He's so stubborn. So when he started feeding himself, he got really curious. He loves trying new things. So I love the idea of having him in the kitchen while I prepare food. He really likes it. Yes, so for me, if you want to find more recipes from the Kitschy Kitchen, you can go to thekitschykitchen.com. You also can find out more about Mochi's new favorite snack at fancyfeast.com/filetyourway.